And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Nazareth Speedway as we get ready for the running of the Prop Hunt 400 here at Nazareth Speedway. 34-lap event ready to be run here today. On the point for his second straight pole of the season. He got the pole last week at Castle Gorge, finished runner-up to Michael Norman. He has the pole here today, and that is Danny Wells in the 31. Currently comes in 20th in the point standings, but he obviously has fast cars when he brings them in these past few weeks, as he starts on his second straight pole position, getting himself definitely a spot in next season's Sprint Unlimited. Alongside of him will be Cole Daly, who comes in 22nd in the point standings there in Hendrick Motorsports. Nice qualifying run for him, so he's going to be driving the Valvoline sponsored 88 here today. Then it's going to be Anthony McCurry. He'll line up in the third position. He comes in 6th in point standings right now, does Anthony, looking to keep himself inside the top 10 in points. Same deal for the guy he'll start alongside in 4th, and that is the rookie points leader, Drew Austin, who also comes in 4th in the overall points. And I'm not exactly sure. I'm trying to remember that paint scheme, but I'm not exactly sure who it is that's rolling off from the 5th position, so you'll have to beg your indulgence on that. I know he's starting alongside of Kyle Sosnowski there in the Hertz paint scheme, but I do not recognize what that paint scheme is of the driver rolling off in the 5th position, so I am not able to tell who that is. Maybe I can just quickly jump down here. Let's see. Let's look at the Anthony McCurry machine real quickly. Oh, that's the 16. Okay, the 16 of Alan Tanker, rather. Alright, so my apologies about that, guys. Actually, let's go to spectator view. That's a good view to be able to see the cars going by. Yeah, much easier for me. So Alan Tanker, who comes into this race currently 19th in the point standings and 4th in rookie points. He'll line up in 5th alongside of him, Kyle Sosnowski, who really is trying to look to get his season turned around. He's mid-pack, 26th in the point standings as we speak. The rest of the top 10, as they look like they're going to be Deanna Shelton and Jeffrey Buckeye, then Emilio Navarrete, who ended up finishing runner-up in the, he finished 3rd in the Mobile One Cup Series event. He'll roll off from 9th, and Sean Henley is going to complete the top 10 today. Points as they come in today look like this. 13 points separating Ralph Mason, the new points leader, from Charles Jackson. Then 3rd in points is William Duncan. Drew Austin in 4th. As a matter of fact, Duncan and Austin are tied right now for 3rd and 4th place. Austin LaPlante and Anthony McCurry are actually tied for 5th and 6th. Then Trent Dunham and Dougie Shears are tied for 7th and 8th. And Sean Galligan and John Radigan are tied for 9th and 10th. We've got 4 ties inside the top 10 coming into today's race. Maybe we'll have to have a little one-on-one thing featuring Duncan against Austin, LaPlante against McCurry, Dunham against Shears, and Galligan against Radigan. What do you think? That might be something we may do today. But nonetheless, pace car is ready to lead them off. They're going to complete a couple pace laps, and we will show you your starting grid. Danny Wells trying to do what the past 2 drivers have done in the past 2 events. Go coast to coast from pole to win. Can Danny Wells pick up his first win of the season here today in the Snickers Cup Series event? Here's your starting lineup for today's Prop Hunt 400 with Nazareth Speedway. Well, last week it was half a car length and Michael Norman that stood between Danny Wells and getting to victory lane at Castle Gorge after starting on the pole position. Today, Danny Wells looks to reverse that by starting on the pole and capitalizing on winning today's race. Let's see if he'll be able to do it. Coming down to the stripe here we go. Green flag is out and we're underway here at Nazareth as Danny Wells got the good run there. He's going to clear Cole Daly and keep the top spot. Daly going to move into second place now. jump back here. Anthony McCurry takes third. Drew Austin's in the wall, so he's going to lose fourth place to Alan Tanker. Here comes the 13 of Deanna Shelton. She's going to move into fifth. Drew Austin now in a battle for sixth place between himself and Emilio Navarrete in the 99. So Austin was able to recover. Stephen Pollard the third there. I think he's currently now in ninth place. Jeffrey Buckeye back to 10th and Sosnowski back to 11th. Move back up here to the front. Danny Wells, tell you what, he got himself a good start there. Cole Daly was caught on the high side, had to try and work his way down to the bottom, but the caution flag's out though, so I was just about to say there's a nice gap between Danny Wells and Cole Daly. That gap's going to go away though, so we're going to be running some pace laps here under caution. Danny Wells will be the leader. The caution flag coming out for, looks like it could have been a couple of, well, Joshua Michaels and Kevin White. They're at the back of the pack here. Also James Silver Fox. I don't know if they're the reason the caution is out or not, but certainly would appear that's the case. But I don't see very much damage to any of those drivers. Two drivers out of Everham Motorsports and one driver Earnhardt Ganassi Racing. The caution is out. There may be some oh, whoa, stop backing up, guys. Kevin White just ran into the back of James Silver Fox. He didn't sustain that much damage, though. I don't think he did. But I really don't know what the caution came out for. You'd have to think it would be for one of these three cars because they were running way, way behind the rest of the field, but they really don't have any visible damage, but they threw the caution anyway. Let's see what happened. Twist under the caution for the first time today here at Nazareth. Well, here it was. This was at the rear of the field, and let's see if we can find out how this initially starts. There you see the 19 of Silver Fox. Oh, they were four wide there with Jake Cole, Noah Hart, Silver Fox, and Joshua Michaels, and the teammates. Those Dodge teammates are going to get together, Silver Fox and Michaels. They snap around right in front of Kevin White, who's trying to slow up. He's going to make some contact there. It's kind of like a little train there on the outside retaining wall, and everybody was able to slow up really quickly, though. And they all tried righting it and continue on. So that was actually what the caution came out for, but really minimal damage there for all three of those drivers. But they attempted to go four wide here at Nazareth. That is a very, very bad idea. You're ready to go back to green flag racing. Danny Wells out in front. Danny Wells trying, I'm looking through here, through the list. And Danny Wells is trying to become the second RCR car to go to victory lane this season. Hayden Klein, of course, did it earlier on this season at Talladega. Cole Daly, he'll line up in second place. He's also trying to become the second Hendrick Motorsports driver to go to victory lane this season, as Aaron Williams Jr., his teammate, did it at Thornton. Anthony McCurry, he's lining up in the third position. No driver from Kyotech Racing has gone to victory lane yet this season, but Ralph Mason, the points leader, Anthony McCurry in sixth, and their rookie driver Noah Hart in 33rd. I think they're having a pretty good season still. Jordan Davis. My apologies, folks. Alan Tanker in the 16. Very good run for that rookie right now. He's trying to become what would be the third Roush Fenway driver to go to victory lane this season, as Dougie Shears went to victory lane at Altoona, and William Duncan went to victory lane at Coca-Cola. He's fourth. And how about rookie Deanna Shelton there for Penske Germain right now in the fifth position. The top 10 is going to be completed by Drew Austin, Emilio Navarrete, then it's Stephen Pollard the third, Jeffrey Buckeye, and Kyle Sosnowski. The green flag is back out. A lot of Fords up here. A lot of Fords. You got the 16, you got the 13, the 22, the 98, and there were a few others back there, too, that I didn't mention. Oh, Deanna Shelton just got turned by Drew Austin! She just spun it. And, oh, man, damage now to the Geico Ford. And, oh, got hit from Cody Lamas. And Angel Navarro's involved, and, oh, it's a big pile-up. Oh, no. There's Mary Cole getting a piece of Deanna Shelton. More cars back here. I couldn't tell who they were. Adam Chambers, James Silverfox, and there's a big wreck. Joshua Michaels just got spun out again after contact from Kevin White. Last week's winner, Michael Norman, is damaged. He is smoking. Hayden Klein, our winner from Talladega, is involved. Jake Cole's got a piece of it. Poteet's got some rear end damage. There's also some damage to the hood of the Aaron Williams Jr. machine. That was quite a wreck. Oh, man, Charles Jackson, second in points. He's got damage. It looks like we're going to have some pit stops. And Danny Wells is going to come down. The leader's coming down to make pit stops. Cole Daly, Anthony McCurry, Alan Tanker, they decide to stay out. Also, William Duncan staying out too, as Danny Wells is going to come down pit road here for the first time this race weekend. Drivers making pit stops. Let's jump to our pit road camera. This is actually not a very good pit road camera if you ask me. Neither is that. Let's go to our spectator cam. Well, actually, maybe we'd be better off going to our TV1 cam. There we go. There's a good camera view of the cars making their pit stops. Let's see what they're going to do here. Will they go with a 2-tire stop or 4 tires? Looks like it's going to be 4-tire stop for everybody that came down. Here comes Rohit Vidarvu. He may have gone with a 2-tire strategy, trying to drag race here off pit road. Oh, nope. Danny Wells is going to get out ahead, but Vidarvu is going to pick up lots of spots on pit road. So he's going to come out second. That might have been a 2-tire stop for the 43. Buckeye third. Pollard the third. Fourth. Trent Dunham came out fifth. Then Ralph Mason, the points leader, he comes out 6th. Jace McLeod 7th. Austin Plant 8th. Kevin White comes out 9th. And John Citadino is going to come out in 10th. A lot of drivers there, I know, definitely had to have gone with 2-tire stops. As 4 drivers stay out, Cole Daly, Anthony McCurry, William Duncan, and Alan Tanker. So we take a look now and take a look and see what puts under the caution flag for the second time today. A pretty big wreck here at Nazareth. Well, we were just talking about what a good run Deanna Shelton was having here today. And she's going to have some contact made between herself and Drew Austin. I'm not sure if Drew Austin really had problems with that or if he just got into her. But whatever the case, Deanna Shelton's probably not going to be too happy with the driver of the 9. She was en route to a really good finish today, and she's going to try and continue on here. And this is when the big problems start to happen. The caution flag's already out. And I think they were either 3 or 4 wide back here. And they're all trying to split the 13. And Cody Lamas just can't quite. He makes contact there. He's the one that actually goes up right in front of Charles Jackson. That's how Jackson sustained his damage. Look at the Carson Gum Machine. Just barely squeak his way through. But, oh, wow, he almost got hit from his own teammate there. There's Angel Navarro. He's going to get head on by Michael Norman. And you can just see the carnage up here. Aaron Williams Jr. nowhere to go. Richard Johnson somehow is able to squeak through along with Tim Walsh. There's Hayden Klein. He ran into the back of Michael Norman. He's got heavy-duty front-end damage to his Duracell Menards Chevy. Jake Cole with damage. Henry Nova there in the high side. I don't know how bad his damage is. I think Jake Cole ran into the back of Dylan Poteet, who we see has some damage to the rear of his Wonder Bread Chevrolet. And as we try and look a little further back, there must have been some other drivers involved. Maybe not. Oh, there's Mary Cole. Let's see how she got into it. I think she hits the 13. Joshua Michaels got some damage too. Oh, yeah, there was more that went on here. These drivers start coming into view. And Mary Cole, she's going to run straight into the 3, or the 13 rather. See where Silver Fox gets involved. Oh, he's going to hit Jake Cole. Kevin White's trying to slow up. He's not able to slow up very well. And then Joshua Michaels, where's he at? Was he already ahead of this? Oh, there he is, but he's smoking. Who did the 10 car hit? Oh, he's going to get into the 39 of Jake Cole as well. Right there, just kind of sideswiped him. And that must have done something internally to the 10, because he's got smoke billowing out of the back of his Valvoline Dodge. So that incident involved all 3 of the 4 Everham drivers. Drew Austin did the turning of Deanna Shelton, which triggered this whole thing, and then his teammates Joshua Michaels and James Silverfox get caught up in this incident. But a lot of other drivers did too, including last week's winner Michael Norman, our winner from Infineon Mary Cole, and our Truck Series winner Cody Lamas. So let's head back now to Green Flag Racing here as we're under the caution flag for the first time today. Oh, and there you see Joshua Michaels. His car snaps around on him, making contact with Kevin White, and he spins out there on the front straightaway. Nobody hit him, though, but Michaels goes for a little spin down the front stretch. But we're under the caution flag. Let's head back now to Green Flag Racing. So some interesting strategy played out here by the top 4, all deciding to stay out. 1 driver from Hendrick Motorsports, 1 driver from Kyotech Racing, and 2 drivers from Roush Fenway Racing. Cole Daly, Anthony McCurry, Alan Tanker, and William Duncan did not come down pit road that time around. So they are on older tires than Danny Wells and the rest of these drivers, who either went with 4 or 2-tire stops. We know Danny Wells went with a 4-tire stop. He'll restart in 5th. Rohit Vidarvu, I think, went with 2 tires. He'll be in 6th. Jeffrey Buckeye, I believe he went with a 4-tire stop. He'll restart 7th. Same deal for Stephen Pollard III, who restarts 8th. I think Trent Dunham went with a 2-tire stop, as he'll restart in 9th. And 10th place, also with a 2-tire stop, I do believe, will be the points leader, Ralph Mason. Then you got James McLeod 11th. 12th is Austin LaPlante. 13th place is Kevin White after the interesting day he's had so far. His teammate John Cittadino lines up in 14th. And how about Carson Gum, who finished runner-up in the Moblin Cup Series race here yesterday? He's lined up in the 15th position. John Radigan is 16th. 17th is Richard Johnson. Tim Walsh 18th. Noah Hart 19th. And 20th place is Henry Nova. 21st, Chris Washer. 22nd is Sean Galligan. Dylan Young, 23rd. 24th is Dylan Poteet. Aaron Williams Jr. lines up 25th. There's Jake Cole, Adam Chambers, Charles Jackson, Cody Lamas, and James Silverbox, the top 30. Madison Severson, 31st. 32nd, Douglas Shears. 33rd, Mary Cole. 34th, Sean Henley. Amelia Navarrete, 35th. 36th is Kyle Sosnowski. And 37th is Drew Austin. As we are back under green. Drivers out after everything that's happened so far include Michael Norman, Deanna Shelton, Angel Navarro, Hayden Klein, and Joshua Michaels. That's a tough break for Michael Norman, who after his win last week at Castle Gorge had worked his way up to 15th in the point standings. As quickly as he gains those points, he'll lose them today with a DNF. And I'll tell you what, talk about losing. Cole Daly has lost the field, about 7-8 car lengths in hand over Anthony McCurry, the new second-place driver now, as Cole Daly has just pulled away. Jump back here. There is Alan Tanker currently in 3rd, and Danny Wells on the fresher tires going to work. He's bypassed William Duncan for 4th place, now trying to run down Alan Tanker for 3rd. Remember, Danny Wells on much fresher tires than the other drivers ahead of him, who have not yet come to pit road. Danny Wells and everybody else pitted back on lap 11. As Cole Daly continues to lead the way there. Very strong race car, even for the older tires. On that number 88, Cole Daly currently 22nd in the point standings. And I'll tell you one thing I have noticed is that the Hendrick Motorsports drivers are suddenly starting to wake up just a little bit. We saw them start to wake up with Aaron Williams Jr. winning back at Thornton, but now Tim Walsh and Cole Daly, they're starting to put together some pretty good runs now in their Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolets. Currently have moved themselves up now to 21st and 22nd, respectively, in the point standings. So we'll jump back here, see where our points leader Ralph Mason is. We know his pit strategy worked pretty well. Oh, wait, he just made another pit stop. Either that or he's got some mechanical problems. He's on the pit lane. I don't know. Did Ralph Mason have a problem, or did he have to come down pit road again? Whatever the case, he may have, I don't know if he's a lap down or if he's on the tail end of the lead lap. Let's see what they say officially. No, he's a lap down. So is Tim Walsh, and so is Emilio Navarrete. What happened to them? Navarrete started this race really well. William Duncan's now coming to pit road. Are they making green flag pit stops or something? Duncan is just now coming off of pit road in the 6th. Let's now try and find our leader, Cole Daly. They may have to make pit stops here. Cole Daly, Anthony McCurry, any of these guys coming down the pit road? No. Alan Tanker also not coming to pit road yet. Oh, here they come. Whoa! Cole Daly coming down pit road right in front of merging traffic. That was William Duncan. That could have been dangerous. And there you see Danny Wells along on the high side. He will go to the lead past the halfway point now. Another driver just made a pit stop there on the inside line. Who was that? Oh, Emilio Navarrete got the wall there. I don't know who the other driver was that made the pit stop there. I couldn't tell. Maybe I just saw the pace car out the corner of my eye. But after the cycling around of green flag pit stops, Danny Wells will be the leader. Looks like second place now is Buckeye Bedaravu, who I'm pretty sure went with a 2-tire stop earlier. He'll be 3rd, though. Trent Dunham currently 4th, and Austin LaPlante is now 5th. McLeod 6th, 7th Stephen Pollard the 3rd. Kevin White is in 8th, 9th John Radigan, and 10th place now will be Richard Johnson in the 11, who just last week fell outside of the top 10 in points. Cole Daly, Anthony McCurry, all these drivers now have completed their pit stops. They gotta hope and pray this thing goes into a long green flag run now, because they are probably going to be a lap down to the leaders, having to make their pit stops under green. And Rohit Vidarvu is now heading for pit road. I thought he went with a 2-tire stop, so apparently going with 4 tires was the best strategy. And you're seeing it's working out here best for those drivers who did make the 4-tire stops. Danny Wells now starting to close in on William Duncan, who I believe is just barely on the tail end of the lead lap. I'm not sure. But he's trying to stay ahead of Danny Wells. That way if a caution comes out, he will be back on the tail end of the longest line on the lead lap still. But Danny Wells right now, just enjoying the view as he's got himself quite a bit of an advantage over the second place driver, but he is coming into some traffic now. So we're going to have to see if that's going to be any problem for him as they're coming up here on the damaged Mary Cole machine out of Tweenix Racing. William Duncan looking at the inside of Mary Cole. He's going to get by her. Danny Wells going to try and use that hole made by William Duncan. Can't do it, though. And he slips up and gets the wall. And Jeffrey Buckeye gets by for the lead. Danny Wells, I think he was concentrating too much on getting by the Mary Cole machine. He let his mind wander, lost the race car, got up into the fence, and he now has lost the lead to the 12 of Jeffrey Buckeye. As someone just spun, it's the points leader. Ralph Mason just spun. Ralph Mason has spun it around. That should bring out a caution. Buckeye will be the leader. And Ralph Mason, a bad day, goes worse for the 87. The points leader spins it around, and that has put us under the caution for the third time today here at Nazareth Speedway. And I think that's going to throw him 2 laps down to the leaders now. That was not the kind of a thing Ralph Mason needed to have happen. He's trying to keep the points lead. Currently with a 12, make that 13-point advantage over Charles Jackson in the point standings, but that is not good for him. It looks like we got some more pit stops going on. Are the leaders all coming down? Yes, they are. There's Buckeye, Danny Wells, Dunham, LaPlante, McLeod, Stephen Pollard III, John Radigan. They're all coming down pit road again. And this is with just about almost 10 laps to go. So this is going to be the final money stop, as they say. Whoever gets off pit road first this time going to definitely have an advantage. As Anthony McCurry is going to take the wave around. Alan Tankard, Tim Walsh, Vay Daravu, William Duncan, and Emilio Navarrete all doing the same. They will all get back on the tail end of the lead lap, I do believe. Jeffrey Buckeye, let's see if they're going to go with 4 tires. Looks like they're going 2 tires and pack it full of fuel. But Danny Wells is going to get off pit road first. Buckeye, extremely slow stop. Danny Wells is gone. Stephen Pollard III out second now. Third is going to be LaPlante, just barely beating out Henry Nova. John Cittadino 5th. Then you got Carson Gum, Jake Cole, Noah Hart, Richard Johnson, and James Silverfox comes out in 10th. See if anybody did stay out of the leaders. No, it does not look like it. None of the leaders stayed out this time. Danny Wells will be the leader with Stephen Pollard III lined up right behind him in second place. We've got to look at what happened to Ralph Mason to put us under the caution for the third time today here at Nazareth Speedway. Well, here's a look at what happened. Looks like some merging traffic caused some problems for Ralph Mason. Rohit Vidarwan, the 43, had just made a pit stop. He was returning to the racetrack, and I don't think Ralph Mason realized that. He tries going right between the 2 Dodges of Vidarwan and his teammate James Silverfox, and he's going to get into the 43, slides up into the wall, and pancake the right side of his Snickers Toyota. So that's a tough break there for Ralph Mason. Nobody else hit him, though, so that was the good thing. And we're going to have ourselves a pretty interesting finish to this race, I can tell, because all those drivers who made pit stops stayed out to keep themselves on the tail end of the lead lap. They're starting ahead of leader Danny Wells on this restart. So let's see what's going to happen. Buckle up tight, folks. It's going to get crazy. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll have a total of 8 to go when the green flag comes back out on lap 27. You're looking at the leader right now, even though he is behind traffic. These are drivers that are on the tail end of the lead lap, and also the driver 2 laps down, Ralph Mason. But Cole Daly is 28th, 29th, Anthony McCurry, Alan Tanker in 30th, 31st, Tim Walsh, 32nd, Rohit Vidarvan, Emilio Navarrete 33rd, and William Duncan 34th, with 35th being Kevin White. Then it's the leader, Danny Wells. Second is Stephen Pollard III. Aaron Williams Jr. actually is, I think, a lap down or 2. He's going to restart in 36th, right between 2nd and 3rd. 3rd place is Austin LaPlante. Then you got Henry Nova 4th, 5th John Cittadino, 6th place will be Carson Gum, 7th is Jake Cole with no hood, 8th place Noah Hart, Richard Johnson 9th, and with no hood as well, James Silverfox is in 10th. How about Mary Cole up there in 11th? Dylan Poteet 12th, 13th is Adam Chambers, 14th place is James McLeod, 15th Dylan Young, 16th John Radigan, Charles Jackson's now been able to recover to 17th, 18th, Sean Galligan. Chris Washer is in 19th, and 20th place is going to be Cody Lamas in the 55. Look at all these damaged cars up here, en route to maybe having a good run as the green flag is back out, and Danny Wells, very wise, was able to let some of this lap traffic, or these slower cars, keep ahead of him. Whoa! Contact between himself and Kevin White almost, as they almost sideswiped each other. And Danny's got a lot of traffic to work with, as Stephen Pollard III is trying to follow him through and keep with him for both Danny Wells and Stephen Pollard III to be their first Snickers Cup Series win of the season, as Danny Wells continues to slice and dice his way through traffic. Now Stephen Pollard III's got Kevin White between himself and Danny Wells. Danny's got to be loving that. We look and see who else may be out of the race as a result of the incidents that have taken place today. Actually, nobody else is out of the race. Oh, look out! The 16 sliding up into the wall. Tim Walsh up into the wall. And they're 4 wide behind him. John Cittadino going 4 wide with Nova, LaPlante, and Stephen Pollard III. This cannot end well. Oh my goodness, they settle it back out to 3 wide, but man, oh man, was that close, and that was awesome too. LaPlante now going to battle side by side for second with Stephen Pollard III, who gets the wall. LaPlante now moves into second place. As Danny Wells continues to work on lap traffic, he puts William Duncan back a lap down. And look out, spin up ahead of him, and he just barely missed Kevin White! Holy cow, the caution is out, and Danny Wells just nearly had his number clocked. Danny Wells, with the car spinning in front of him, was able to avoid, and Danny Wells will lead us under the caution again with about 5 to go. And James McLeod just made a pit stop there in the 51, but my goodness, Danny Wells just avoided near disaster, had the 41 of Kevin White with Tim Walsh spin right in front of him, avoided, and Danny Wells still stays in the lead, but what a tremendous miss by the driver of the 31 car. Caution flag is out. We saw it happen. Kevin White and Tim Walsh make contact. Spun right in front of Danny Wells, but Wells is still going to be the leader. LaPlante now is in second, Nova third, Carson Gum fourth, and Stephen Pollard III slipped back to fifth place as a result of the lap traffic holding him up. But my goodness, we may get back to green, I don't know, but we got to take a look at that tremendous miss by the 31 once again. Now here's Kevin White. Looks like he was up in the higher groove coming off of this corner. Tim Walsh getting a good run on the lower groove. And his car, I think, is just going to start to slip up the racetrack there. Yeah, he lost grip on that car, got wicked loose up into the 41. And watch this. Tim Walsh turns down the racetrack. The 41's still sliding. And look at Danny Wells. What a tremendous miss right there. Avoiding the number 41 out of Earnhardt Ganassi Racing, Kevin White, who actually had a great run going. Then ended up getting trapped with having to make a green flag pit stop. Had to start in front of the leader behind the pace car, and this day has just gone pretty south quickly for Kevin White, who almost got nailed by rookie Chris Washer right there. But we're going to go on board now with the 31 of Danny Wells and see just exactly what he saw. It's still too early to make predictions, but this may have been the move that kept Danny Wells from losing this race. Look at that. Apparently he saw that was going to happen, and he was very, very proactive in making his move to avoid that, and Danny Wells, a tremendous miss there, may have just handed him this win. Who knows? But we're going to head back to Green Flag Racing to find out if that's the case. We will have a one-lap shootout to cap off what's been an exciting race weekend here at Nazareth Speedway. Danny Wells trying to become the third straight driver this weekend to win the race from the pole position. The difference between this race and our trucks and mobile race, though, Danny Wells has a few times lost the lead today. He lost the lead to Jeffrey Buckeye, and he also ended up losing the lead to a few drivers when they decided to stay out and not come down pit road. So you can't say Danny Wells hasn't earned the win today, if indeed he is able to take it. He is the leader, though, and he couldn't be in a better situation. He's got 3 lap cars between himself and second place Austin LaPlante. There's Aaron Williams Jr., William Duncan, and Tim Walsh. Then LaPlante is in second, Nova in third, Carson Gum fourth, and Stephen Pollard third and fifth. Cittadino runs sixth, Silver Fox seventh, Washer eighth. Ninth place is going to be Richard Johnson, and completing the top 10 is Noah Hart. So all Danny Wells has got to do is just hit his marks and make sure that that lap traffic behind him does not shuffle him onto the high line. You can bet Austin the Plant will try capitalizing on that if that does happen. Here we go. Green flag, white flag are out. Can Danny Wells get some redemption for last week at Castle Gorge and finally get to victory lane this season? He got a great jump there. He's ahead of Aaron Williams Jr., and I think he may be able to do it if he just does not miss his marks here in this final lap. LaPlante having trouble with Henry Nova in that battle for second. They're not even concentrating on the lap traffic. Danny Wells has pretty much got this thing in the bag. Things could not have worked out better for the driver of the number 31 Caterpillar Chevrolet as he'll cross the stripe. Danny Wells wins the Prop Hunt 400 under the caution flag at Nazareth Speedway as the yellow lights just came on before Danny Wells crossed the line. But regardless of whether it ends under green or under caution, end result remains the same. Danny Wells has picked up his first win of the season in the Snickers Cup Series. And what a tremendous win it was as well for Danny Wells. Came in today, as I said, 20th in the point standings. This will definitely help him as far as points are concerned. He's really moved himself up through the standings in the past few weeks, especially with a runner-up finish last week and now following it up with a win here today. He also, with the All-Star race looming, has just clinched himself a spot in this season's Snickers Cup Series All-Star race with his win here today. As always, we show you your official top 10 results. Austin the Plant, what a great run for him. He's going to get the second place position here today in that number 15. Great run for the guy who came in 5th in the point standings. Henry Nova, who came in 18th in points, who has been hitting a bit of hard luck lately. He's going to get 3rd. How about Carson Gum? He's had quite a race weekend here at Nazareth. Ended up finishing runner-up position in the Mobile Cup Series race here yesterday. Gets 4th place here today. And Stephen Pollard III, great run for a guy who really needed a good run today as well. He'll get 5th place. John Cittadino, the defending Snickers Cup Series champ, 36th in points. He may be back on the road to recovery as he'll finish 6th today, rather. 7th for the 7 car of Chris Washer. Great run for that rookie. How about James Silverfox? No hood on that 19. Was involved in the first 2 cautions of the day, and he's going to come away with an 8th place finish here today. Talk about recovering. Then you got Richard Johnson. He'll probably maybe move himself back inside the top 10 in points as he gets 9th today. And how about the Kyotech Racing rookie Noah Hart? He'll finish in the 10th position here today for that Toyota team. Let's take a look and see what the point standings may look like heading into next week. For Charles Jackson, in order for him to take the points lead away from Ralph Mason, he would have to finish a total of 13 positions ahead of Ralph Mason in the running order. Charles finished today in the 18th position. In order for Ralph Mason to lose the points lead, he'd have to be running in 31st, 32nd, somewhere around there or worse. Where did Ralph finish out the day? In the 37th position. And now I'm going to quickly look here and see. Charles Jackson finishing in 18th. Austin the Plant and Drew Austin, they were only 6 points back. Were they able to finish ahead of Jackson? Let's see. Drew Austin finished 16th, so he will not be the new points leader. Austin the Plant finishing 2nd. For the first time this season, Austin the Plant out of Michael Waltrip Racing will be the new points leader of the Snickers Cup Series standings heading into next week at Riki Raceway. So what a tremendous thing there for Austin the Plant and that team. For the first time this season, they are atop the Snickers Cup Series overall standings. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. Congratulations to Danny Wells. Finished runner-up last week. Today, he's going to get it done. He wins at Nazareth Speedway. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. Here comes your official finishing results, overall point standings, and rookie points. Heading next week at Riki Raceway, our final stop before the All-Star Race weekend. Danny Wells will be there, and we're going to find out who else is going to be there, whoever wins next week in our races at Riki Raceway. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, offline racing at its best. See you guys next time.